What's up international, what's up diaspora? Welcome to the east side of Africa. This is your boy Manyota, Outer Rongai. This is how we do, man. Welcome to Kenya, Kenya. Yeah, this is about my biography, my documentary and stuff, about my life and music, what I've been doing, you know, how I started. Yeah, it's a long story, man, but I hope you just have fun, man. Hope you'll be patient with me, right? It's a motivating story. It's a very inspiring too. It will motivate you, it will give you ideas. I was born 25 years ago in a place called Muhoroni. It's in Kenya. I used to live with my grandmother. That is when I was still a kiddie. Those were the right times, the good times, you know, when you're still a young kid, you don't know much about life. You just who you are, you do what you do, you know, trying to get your education, trying to get yourself somewhere, you know, trying to make a life when still young. So I used to love my grandmother so much, so much. I used to call her mom, because my real mom, I saw her when I was 12 years old, you know. So all this time I've been living with my grandmother. My grandmother used to inspire me with good stories, you know. After dinner, we used to sit in a meko. We call them jikos, you know. After supper, we used to have stories, and the stories were inspiring, and the stories were nice, you know, about the kings, about the lions, about the animals and stuff. So this time when I was living with her, musically I was inspired through the way she was telling us the stories, and it was nice because it was soothing, and it even makes us sleep when we were still young. So my mother used to be my grandmother was my heroine until in 98. That is when I was around 12 years, I remember. Officially, my grandmother introduced me to my mom, whom I used to call my sister, my big sister. Because every time she used to come home with goodies, you know, she used to bring me good stuff just to, you know, appreciate me and stuff. So I never knew she was my mom. So my grandmother told me that, you know, here is your mom, I am your grandma. And I was like, I'm confused. But it was a very painful moment for me, because I was like, where was she when I needed her most, you know? Like when I was going through rough moments, when I was going through painful moments, it's only my grandmother and my grandpa was there. So she was never there when I needed her most, you know? So before I accepted her, I took some time, you know, a period of time, just to make her, just to consult myself that she's my real mom. But hey, you know, they always say blood is thicker than water. We became friends. Started going, you know, for kids shows, you know, started doing what son and mother should do and stuff. But in 99 is when now, I don't know, when we left my grandmother's home to live with my mom, I found out that she was married to my stepfather, you know. She was married to a man whom I was calling my stepfather. It wasn't easy, you know. I was still the firstborn in the family. My brother was only 2 years old, you know. So my stepfather was never good on me, you know. Every time I tried to be nice, every time I tried to do what boys do, you know, go out, play football, go watch movies, you know, and you come back home late. In 1999 is when now I ran from home, you know, with my friend called Jared. Jared was my colleague. He was in class 5 while I was in class 2. So at least he was older than me, but I was kind of clever than him. when I was young, you know. So he told me that he can take me to a center whereby people like me, or people like let's call them orphans, where orphans are being rehabilitated. And it was a nice place. So when he told me about it, you know, I was still young and this still, you know, it was like an amazing thing for me. I wanted to see it like ASAP. So that is where I escaped with Jared to Kisumu. Never knew Kisumu. I used to hear it. Kisumu is one of the biggest towns in Kenya. So when I went to Kisumu, it was just this big place where there's a lot of noise and the buildings, the tall buildings, and people are busy and nobody wants to listen to you and stuff. So Jared taught me a lot when I was in Kisumu. You know? He was a street boy. He used to be a street boy, yes, I can say. Because every place we went, he knew all the street boys, all the bases, all the places we went, all the street boys in the town knew him. So surviving was kind of easy on our side, but not that much easy, you know. It was so new to me. This was just a different world for me. From home to streets, where you sleep outside, you don't have a home, you don't see your mom, you don't see your brother, you don't see the people you love and stuff. So you just live your own life. You live like a soldier in the streets. So I grew in the street, loving music. I used to have a Walkman, a small Walkman, which I used to, you know, every time I do my thing, when I have free times after hustling, you know, I listen to some of African music, you know, spoken words. I used to love Pac and Biggie, you know, they used to inspire me so much, especially Pac, you know, like, used to go through rough life, thug life and stuff, so it was like reflecting the same thing to my side. So music, that's where now music started to come in me, like I started to understand that I have something in me. I was now around 14 years, 15 years. I was around 15 years because it was in 2001 when I figured out that I can spit, I can do few verses for people, you know. But I can say God was on my side because I saw most of my friends were shot by the policemen, you know. Every time there was different criminals in town. If it is not from our side, it was the other side of the town, you know. So in 2002 is when now Kisumu was being transformed into a city. So the governor at that time decided that all the street boys to be arrested, some to be taken to rehabilitation centers, and some to be returned back home, or maybe some to be taken to approved schools. So on my side, I never liked the idea of going to approved school or going to the jail or stuff. So I told my friends, and by that time, mind you, my friend Jared was killed. There was a time he snatched a bag from a white lady, you know. And you see, every time you tamper with white ladies, it's always fracas in the streets. So before he even made few steps running, he was shot. A friend of mine came to tell me when I was in bed, like, hey Vic, you know what? Your body is gone. I'm like, gone home or where? And he was like, was killed. It was a painful moment because it was like my big bro. It was like the best friend I can share my secrets with, you know. Someone I can trust, someone I can share something with. So he took me there, saw the crowd, saw policemen there, and saw Jared on the ground, you know, like dead. He was sleeping and the blood everywhere, and the bag was there, and there was a white lady there and stuff, and I saw that, and I was like half dead. I was tired, and I don't know. I ran away for a while just to make sure that I can take care of myself on my own. Into a train and went and came to Nairobi. Nairobi was the big city. I used to love Nairobi. That one I can assure you, because it was beautiful. My grandma used to tell me good stuff about Nairobi, and it was so nice. So when I came to Nairobi, the first place I landed was a market called Markiti. That's when I saw some street boys who are like me, you know, roaming here and there, trying to get something to eat, surviving and stuff. So in 2002 is when now the Kibaki government was in power. So when I came to Nairobi, it was in 2002. 2002 July, I can recall. So here in Nairobi also is where also I found that even the street boys in Nairobi, they were being arrested too. So the same thing which was happening in Kisumu is the same thing which was happening in Nairobi. So I was taken to a center with a friend of mine. There was this clique at Mudhurwa. They were calling themselves ghetto boys. So they told us that instead of being arrested to be taken to approved schools, we rather take ourselves to centers where there's a rehabilitation center. So we decided to go for the better part of our life. So we decided to go to Kayole Rehabilitation Center. That's now where I found my friends. That is where I found Sami, the other part of Machizi. I found few friends whom I can trust, the few friends who can share something with me. So here at the Kayole Rehabilitation Center now is where I explored now my music career, because I found out Sami was in music. There was a friend of mine called Shomba. There was Kim, there was Lasto. All these guys were rappers, so we were like the hip hoppers, the street boys, So we formed a clique called the Chariots, Children Appreciating Art. So we decided to come through, try to entertain guests who are coming in. People are bringing us gifts. White people are coming to see the children at the centers. We used to entertain them. We used to sing to them. So this is when now I started taking music seriously, starting to focus with music, So in 2003 we did a lot. People were coming and Kayole was famous, and the people around the hood liked us, liked the center, just because there were artists there. They used to say, "Kuna ma MCs." In that center there are MCs. So they wanted to come and see what these MCs. So we used to do some hip hop music, beatboxing and stuff, and doing some music, making music what it is. So in 2004, when we were at the Kayole Rehabilitation Center, we used to also get some free times on Saturdays and Sundays to go to town and see what's happening and stuff. So there was a time we met DJ Stone. That is back in 2004, January, I can recall. So when I met DJ Stone, I was just with Sami, we were parking cars, trying to get a meal so that we can get some bus fare back to the center, try to get us some new clothes and stuff, because we were changed, we were transforming from street boys to good guys, trying to understand life the way it is. So when we were parking cars at Moi Avenue, that's when we saw Sami. Me and Sami saw DJ Stone. So everybody knew DJ Stone because he used to be by that time was the well-known producer. So I was like, hey, is that DJ Stone? Because there was some time we saw him on TV, So when we were with Sami, I was like, hey, that's DJ Stone. Can we talk to him? Can we tell him about us? So Sami was like, okay, why not? So we approached DJ Stone, introduced ourselves briefly. By that time he was distributing some albums. So he gave us time. I can say that DJ Stone gave us time. He listened to what we were doing. he listened to our talents and stuff and was like, damn, you guys are good. So we talked with Stone, even agreed to invite us to his studio. After a month, we were at DJ Stone Studio, Bedrock Studios, that was the name. Lasto, Kim, and Shomba, the part of Chariots, they decided to go to National Youth Service. At that time, street boys and other youths in the country were being taken to NYS. You know, so they decided to go and be the soldiers of the country, you know, to be trained, to be armies, to be policemen and stuff. So they quit the Chariots. So we remained Victor and Sammy. So Victor and Sammy decided to drop the name Chariots and came up with the name Machizi. Machizi, by that time in Kenya, people, they were like, Machizi means crazy. I was like, no man, Machizi means bodies, like real bodies, you know. Someone you've gone through a lot with him in life and you've seen a lot of stuff, you know, like your brother from another mother. So we composed Machizi. DJ Stone liked it. That's when we made our first song, Street to Mahama.
Bedrock Studios to all posts. Bedrock Studios to all posts. This is Naman. Ukiona how Machizi Waregesha headquarters. I repeat, ukiona how Machizi Waregesha headquarters.
Tashukuru Mwenyezi Mungu ametupa elimu ya bure. Sisi tumehama, tashukuru Mwenyezi Mungu ametupa makao ya bure. Sisi tumehama, tashukuru Mwenyezi Mungu ametupa elimu ya bure. Sisi tumehama, tashukuru Mwenyezi Mungu ametupa makao ya bure.
Ukiwa kule tawa na kuita shukura pipa, wachukura zile mapipa, kutafuta eti fupa ukapate kula. Unapodungwa na chupa, hakuna kusaidia na kutupa kama mtumba. Anasema wena nuka, wewe ni mbaya, umeexpire, uko ndani ya fire, unavuta kaya. Ukiendo laya, wanakuita malaya, na hata wana haya na we kusharitia. Street umetoka, washukuru Mwenyezi Mungu kwa kukupa elimu ya bure. Wale wote walikuwa na tulani, samahani tumetoka mtaani, na sasa tunafanya mtihani, na sasa tunasoma, na wala sio Osama kina mama naelewa, na wala ulewa. Wacha nikwambie, mimi nimewata hamu ya kuvuta tamu.
Tumehama, tashukuru Mwenyezi Mungu ametupa elimu ya bure. Sisi tumehama, tashukuru Mwenyezi Mungu ametupa makao ya bure. Sisi tumehama, tashukuru Mwenyezi Mungu ametupa elimu ya bure. Sisi tumehama, tashukuru Mwenyezi Mungu ametupa makao ya bure.
Mazembe nimeiba, mavita nimepigwa, kitukanwa umbwa, uso nikaya surwa, mwili nikaya chura, na cheki mbuyu fulani mimi nataka kumura, na cheki mbele nyuma kanda kuna makarao, nasonga kumura, nikamura mobile pesa na dhahabu, kidogo nikaponyoka, yu akawika makarao wakafika, madogizi kivika, hao wakanifuata, huku wakiwika, huyo mwizi kamata, bioni kama swara, kati ya barabara nikafika kwa ukuta kuna stima, na nikicheki nyuma makarao wananifuata, na nikuwa mi mtoto wa mama, kukufa ni lazima, punde si punde kwa ukuta nikaruka, watu wakashangaa nikawawacha kwa mataa kama wamezubaa, nikafika bezo wazee wakonilizaa, kwani umeiba ndo maana umekuja mbio.
Sisi tumehama, tashukuru Mwenyezi Mungu ametupa elimu ya bure. Sisi tumehama, tashukuru Mwenyezi Mungu ametupa makao ya bure. Sisi tumehama, tashukuru Mwenyezi Mungu ametupa elimu ya bure. Sisi tumehama, tumehama twashukuru Mwenyezi Mungu ametupa makao ya bure.
Shida tabu mbili kwa mtaa imezidi, sasa ni lazima uizi chizi, kutoa mbuyu mbio na kumfinya kwa kio. Mbuyu kumedhoka leo kumegoroka, toa pesa leta mbuyu, toa ganji kabla hujakula mavi. Hapa tuko jivanji, hatutaki utiaji. Huyu anatetemeka hadi anajikojolea, ana la kusema ama baki amelegea, hawezi kuongea. Masimu zimekwenda, mapesa zimegwereka, na sisi bado twaiba. Sisi ni chokora, acheni kutusorora. Mmetudharau hadi kwetu mnanyora, ndio kwa maana tunawapora na manjora. Na ni story kubwa kama safina ya
tumehama twashukuru Mwenyezi Mungu ametupa elimu ya bure. Tumehama twashukuru Mwenyezi Mungu ametupa makao ya bure. Tumehama twashukuru Mwenyezi Mungu ametupa elimu ya bure. Tumehama twashukuru Mwenyezi Mungu ametupa makao ya bure. Tumehama twashukuru Mwenyezi Mungu ametupa elimu ya bure. Tumehama twashukuru Mwenyezi Mungu ametupa makao ya bure. Tumehama twashukuru Mwenyezi Mungu ametupa elimu ya bure. Tumehama twashukuru Mwenyezi Mungu ametupa makao ya
that day when we recorded Street Tumehama, I had my voice for the first time on an audio song, you know, on a track. It was so awesome, man. It was amazing. DJ Stone liked it, and within a week we were shooting the video. So DJ Stone decided that he wanted to have a contract with us. He wanted to sign us as his artist, as the studio artist. That is now that is 2004. Now we are in August. Street Tumehama was doing well on the radio stations. People were calling. It was topping charts. I used to get some phone calls from my friends like, "Hey, you guy, you are on radio, man. I like what you're doing." And I was like, "Yeah, man, that's God." It was amazing to hear someone calling you that you're on radio. Within a week, we were being called for interviews. We were going for those big radio stations for interviews. Like things were happening overnight, you know, being a celebrity overnight. It was awesome. It was amazing, I can say. Because coming from the streets, through those hustles and stuff, you know, now bringing yourself into a brand new world of entertainment and stuff, and you're a celeb and people want to say hi to you, and school kids are all over you, and high school kids want to say hello, and they want you to perform to them every time they see you. And it was a brand new thing to me, man. So Stone decided to sign a contract with us, 7-year contract. By that time we were still kids, man, because I didn't even have ID card, man, so I was still 16 years old. But we decided, because we were the one who wanted help. We were the ones who needed help. So we decided, cool, we'll just sign this so that we can make our life and move out of street once and for all. You know, set example, tell these people from the street, like, you can move from the street to another new level of life if you can just understand who you are. So deep inside me, I believe that music was our savior. Like music saved our lives. From those criminal activities in the streets to now renowned celebrities. So Street Tumehama, we did a video. We went back to Grogan. Grogan was the worst place you can find yourself in this world. That's where now the street boys were, and that's where they were used to do a lot of things. When there were a lot of chaos in town, that is where people were coming, and there's a lot of criminal activities there. So we went back to the streets, went back to bars where we used to be, talked with those guys concerning shooting a video, because it was not easy. You see, Stone was this kind of white guy, you know, so they thought like, you guys are going to shoot our video so that you can sell it abroad. And I was like, hey, no, it's not about that. It's about doing something, bringing you guys to the spotlight. trying to make the country or the people know who we are. So after some consultation, we were good to go. We did the video the whole day. By the following day, it was done. It was on TV. Oh man, it was crazy. We were called for campus events. We were called for high school events. But that time, we were still young, and DJ Stone was the producer and stuff. And even we rented a house through that music thing. So it was nice. It was nice seeing young girls coming to say hello. And, they thought like we were rich guys from Lavington or from Kilelesho, but in real sense, we were street boys who just transformed from dustbin to celebrities, to people who can be appreciated in the industry, in the society, in the community. So we did an album called Street to Mehama. The album did well in the market. People liked them. People bought the album. But again, we were not getting enough revenues to keep us going, Because there was a time we were supposed to sign a 1.5 million deal with the well-known Capital FM owner Chris Kirubi. So when DJ Stone saw the opportunity coming, and he was like, he misused the idea, man. So from my side, I was like, why? Why do you want to destroy this thing, man? It's going to make us who we are. It's going to make us big. So DJ Stone never liked the idea. So we parted ways with DJ Stone after the first album, because he refused to sign that deal with Chris Kirubi. So we decided, okay, if you ain't going to do it, us guys were going to quit. So we terminated our contract. I still have that terminated contract until today.
Okay, welcome to Bust Radio's office. This is Frederick Coutinho, and other names called Yahya Coutinho. Today we're here to talk about Victor Mchizi of the Mchizi music. When we met with Victor, that was 6-7 years ago, that he was just getting started in the industry. We were doing a lot of projects together. One being trying to see how we can empower the youths in Ngatungai. And gradually, year by year, piece by piece, the puzzle is coming together. As we speak right now, we have over 300 youths under our docket. We're trying to sensitize to see how we can create employment, income, sustainable projects that our youths in Ngatungai can get involved in. In terms of music, Cheese music has come a long way. Since his first track to now, Mafte, it's really grown. And we hope to actually try and break that ceiling that African and local and people from Ngatungai can't break into the mainstream market. We are working on so many projects as we speak. We are trying to rebrand Cheesy as an artist. He approached me a while back and accepted to be his manager. We are trying to see what opportunities we can explore, how we can take his music to the international market, how we can do quality videos, quality music, to sort of have music act as an income. People to actually realize music can be an employment of its own. Also to create an avenue to encourage other new young people to join into the industry and produce music that actually has content that really affects our community, that tells us about life, things that we experience on a day-to-day basis. Besides, in our current market, music acts as an entertainment, but music should not be that. Music is when you communicate your feelings, your inner soul to your audience. We hope to get several shows underway. We are planning to launch a rebrand of Mchizi, and we hope you as the listeners, as our viewers, will actually come on board and support this venture. Secondly, we want to start a Mchizi Foundation. This is to mentor young entertainers, young thespians, young people into the music industry, so they don't get carried away by the drugs, by the hype, by the artist's star life. We see how we can create a unit, a system, where artists can complement each other, do collabos, not necessarily for financial gains, but just to perfect their arts and skills. In line with that, we started a radio station. As you can see, Bus Radio itself. Bus Radio is a youth initiative. It's a station for the community by the community. We are just here as custodians. All the programs that we run in this radio station are development oriented. We don't want to go mainstream. We want to actually tackle issues affecting us. Get programs that really address the issues, not cosmetic issues, real issues. And together, let's build more heights, greater things to come. So watch this space.
Ndio kweli yangu, maisha yangu cheesy, imetubidi, yeah. Just on this. Mpaka chini dadi kuhepa home nikiwa mdogo sana, miaka 12, chizi wangu bana sana. Wanda ni wapi nitalala, ni wapi nitadish chakula takataka, naenda base nikute maboy bana, badhi wamejamu wananikimbiza rapu, wananiambia chizi usipoiba bana hautalala base na pia tutapatana sana. Wanda kuiba ni blanda, nikipatwa na iba ni vita na vunjwa. Mungu wangu, mbona ninaishi maisha hii ya tabu? Mbona kila mali misipendwi na watu, navunjwa mambavu, shati ni damu.
Ni uchungu mwenzangu, kuishi kwenye street, tunitabu tabu. Ni uchungu mwenzangu, kuishi kwenye street, tunitabu tabu.
Natembea kwa street sijijui nani, wazazi misina simezei wadhi, karao na kanjo ni adui dadi, unanisikiza modhi, mnanipata wadhi. Watu wangu wanakufa, mina ponea wakishikwa na gava, mina ongea nikishikwa na kanjo, najitetea nikitafutwa na gava, mina potea. Mara ngapi tutaishi hivi? Niambie chizi wangu itakuwa vipi? Kanipopigwa ni mara mingi, nimechoka na hii maisha mimi, kulala base na kukula nguo moja kwa mili, shida mingi.
Ni uchungu mwenzangu, kuishi kwenye street, tunitabu tabu. Ni uchungu mwenzangu, kuishi kwenye street, tunitabu tabu.
Nimechomoka base na gunia mgongoni, gam mdomoni na phone mkononi, niko mbio na kimbizo na karao, makanju ndio hao wako nyuma na mambaa. Shika wizi ndio shina njiani, mamangu ni nani, babangu yuwapi? Nina hema na shida imefika, itabidi kijana kujificha, natafutwa na makanjo kabisa, chiza mepotea yuko ndani kwa giza. Hikuiba sikupenda kwangu bana, nikishikwa na karao ni matata. Hata mimi ningependa kusoma sana, ijapokuwa maisha ni blanda, nikikaa machozi yanitoka na kupigwa na watu nimechoka.
Mwenzangu, kuishi kwenye street, tunitabu tabu. Ni uchungu mwenzangu, kuishi kwenye street, tunitabu tabu. Ni uchungu mwenzangu, kuishi kwenye street, tunitabu tabu. Ni uchungu
maboy wangu wenye wako street Roju, nawapenda sana. Sivafa siku moja mtaja kutoboa chizi moja. Yeah. So you see, when we are being called for events now, people are not even paying us the exact amount we were supposed to be paid. So they were they were misusing us because we were still young. So after that, a producer from Ketebun Studios called Tabo Susa, who is the owner, we met in an event in Carnival. So when he saw us, he was like, Machizi, how are you, man? Are you guys grown? Do you have ID now? Because I want to sign you guys. We're like, okay, yes, we have IDs. We are grown. So, what's up? So, he liked our music. He really liked our music. So, he invited us to his studio. It's called Ketebul Studios. It's in Doha. And that's where now we did our second album. You know, the second album was called Twashukuru. It was all about, you know, what we went through in life and the hard side of it and stuff. So it was good thing to be signed in another recording label, which is well known. We did a lot. We did a song called Ananiua. Sami did Niamini. I did a track called Maisha Yangu and stuff.
So msanii tunamjua kuanzia kitambo, tumekuwa naye hapa kwa hood. Ni mtu ametoka mbali na tunamheshimu sana. Kuna song moja ambayo ameimba inaitwa Maafte. Song imenifurahisha sana. Inaongea mtu kana msichana mrembo wake majioni hivi wakipumzika kidogo. Ni nyimbo ya kwanza ambayo nilisikia kutoka kwake na nikaona kuwa kuna talanta ambayo ni nzuri sana. Kwa hivyo tunamuombea aendelee hivyo na tunatumai kuwa ataenda mbali kupitia kwa hii usanii ya uimbaji. Asante.
Nimechill na mtoto ni maafte mdogo, zinashika tu mdogo, tunashikisha mdogo, nimechill na mtoto ni maafte mdogo, zinashika tu mdogo, tunashikisha mdogo, ni massage za mgongo, lotion kwa mkono, na mpaka tu mdogo, na mcheze ya mdomo, na mwanza na maneno, analegea msemo, na mtolea mawazo, ametulia kitako, ni maafte ya champagne, na msikizia kwa thighs, nimelenga machampe, ni vituko zime nice, na mroll ka dice, na mcheki ka twice, na mdeal kwa eyes, zime nice. Nimechill na mtoto ni maafte mdogo, zinashika tu mdogo, tunashikisha mdogo, nimechill na mtoto ni maafte mdogo, zinashika tu mdogo, tunashikisha mdogo, kelele mingi hatupendi, especially hii weekendi, nimejificha na kendi, na msikiza kwa jegi, tunashikisha vijiti, hatupendi watu wengi, ni mapako za fegi, na mizinga za wengi, juu ya maji kameli, chini ya maji kamlevi, vako zetu haina wengi, si wawili tuko wengi, ananifundisha ufala, anazipenda tu sana, anacheka cheka sana, mazeze na tubamba, nimechill na mtoto ni maafte mdogo, zinashika tu mdogo, tunashikisha mdogo, nimechill na mtoto
zinashika tu mdogo, maafte tunashikisha mdogo, maafte nimechina mtoto, maafte ni maafte mdogo, maafte zinashika tu mdogo, maafte tunashikisha mdogo, maafte 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 maafte.
Did a lot of video songs, yeah, I can assure you. So through that, we got events, we got invited in different events, and we were doing well, you know, like we were now back to where we were now topping charts and stuff. So we did one album under Ketable Studios. The producer was called, the producer who produced our songs, there were two producers, Jesse and 64. So they did that album for us at Ketable Studios. Then in 2006, we came to Ongata Rongai.
Niaje wasea jo, karibuni Ronga 125% jo, ndio hudi yangu, ndio mtaa yangu, maboy wangu, machizi. Ronga, jina Ronga ilikam, first ilikuwa inaitwa Ongata Rongai, si Ronga, Ongata Rongai. So jina Rongai ilikuwa inamaanisha flat, yani mali tu flat tu kabisa, mali hakuna kitu ambayo inaweza pandwa, yani iko tu flat, hakuna kitu yote. Alafu ilikuwa tu shamba ya mtu solo, mtu mmoja. Hii base yote mpaka ule Kasasi, mpaka Nakel, mpaka wapi Leisa, huko past Leisa nika unaenda Kise. Hiyo yote ilikuwa ya mtu solo, si ndio? Alafu huyo boy alikuwa, jamaa alikuwa anaitwa Rongai. So hii pia ilikuwa place plan poa sana ilikuwa kama national park yani. Unapata wazungu walikuwa wanapenda sana kukamizi sekta sana kuona wanyama nini. After that wanaenda mahoteli, clubs, manini, masafo hizi ndio zilikuwa base. So after hapo ndio ikaanza kudevelop tu polepole, ikigrow. By 2004 ndio sasa Rongai, by 2002 ndio Rongai ilikuwa ina grow. Ikakam tu yani makeja zikaanza kujengwa. Kwanza Ronga sai in East Africa, Ronga is the second richest town in East Africa. Na pia is the fastest growing town in East Africa. So exactly. So unaweza understand venye Ronga imegrow from 2002 mpaka saizi. Iko juu tu sana. Twendeni lap tuone Ronga au sio? Yeah. Wasai ni aje, tumewaleta sasa kwa visit center ya Rongai. Mahali mayutu kuja pamoja, kujifundisha mambo kibao tu sana. Cheki pale hivyo ni kapost mahali ambao unaweza come, usipotee, unajua ni huku ndani. So karibuni tena sana, tuangalie nini nafanyika huku ndani au sio? Yeah! Huni foreman ndio beshte, I hope mmekuwa mmemwona, ndio atatuambia venye kuko huku pia au sio?
So hapa tuna Zipora akiwa ndio coordinator wetu hapa kwa center hiyo kwa ofisi. Hii ni resource center. Tuna Laibu pale, Microsoft na Ministry of Youth Affairs. Wakatupatia hizi comps ndio mayouth wako wanatumia. Tuna mapia educator hapa hivyo sana wanajua story na HIV and AIDS. Programs zote ziko hapa.
So apart from pia kuwapeleka tu VCT, tunawaleta pamoja, wana have fun, wana do whatever they need on computers, wana make friendships and blah stuff like that. At least wasikue ma-idol, at least wasikue wana end up wanafanya vitu mbaya. So hii ni kubring pamoja mayouth, alafu tuendelee tuangalie nini tunaweza fanya in future au sio? Utamu ya kuishi huku ya kwamba ni Rongai ni ina vako yake kivyake, unaona? Ni mtaa iko kivyake. Because hata wewe mwenyewe ukitoka hivyo LA from Bomas ukikam hivi utapata ya kwamba hujapitia mtaa zingine, ni Ronga unakam. Kwa hivyo Ronga ni mtaa ingine iko too smart sana kuishi. The fact that food iko cheap huko, alafu ni island fulani, ni island fulani imesimama, iko tu na view yake kivyake. Alafu huku pia ni food yani iko down, unaona, cause hapa nyama nikaa tunaishi na Masai wako next door neighbor. Maziwa nikaa kibao. Cheki hizo mamwili bana. Uliza. Ndio manake tuko Yeah. Wasaiya, tukiendelea kuwapea Kenya mnataka, kumbuka tuko mtaa ya Ronga. Tunawaleta studio, Black Revolution ndio studio, so kwa hivyo tutaingia ndani, sio? Kuja nami. Yeah. Mtaa Black Revolution 125. Huku ndio studio, ndio maboy XBizo. Yeah, XB msanii. Tuko na chizi wangu hapa hivi, bamdogo kawaida unamjua. Tuko na Foreman hapa hivi, msanii mzima. Tuko na Badman pia na producer mwenyewe Mswahili kwenye kona kampunji 10 na ngapi? Yeah, sasa uchape hiyo Ronga tusikie bana. Si ndio hiyo mtu wangu.
Cheese, nataka kudedicate kwa mabongo Ronga. Sikia, hizo domo zenyu, makelele zenyu, inafanya Ronga inapanda juu, mauwivu zenyu na uchungu zenyu, inafanya hii mtaa inasonga juu. Nipe kitu kali, yani kitu safi, nikushow venye Ronga yetu iko mbali, juu ya mtaa fulani, ya mafala fulani, hawezani kwenye
sana ni joblessness. Yani maboy wako so jobless tu sana yani. Unapata tuko na kole 3 imetuzunguka. Unapata kwa hizo kole wadhi wakisha graduate mtu wangu anakaa mingi tu mtaani. Si wote get work. So unapata job ni ngori sekta ya mtaani huku. Kitu ya pili pia gava yani au mamwera mtu wangu. Wako tu na sisi man to man. Sasa ni wabaya ndio bata hiyo kutuhanda tu sana yani imezidi yani. Yeah, wasaiya, hiyo ndio ilikuwa Black Revolution ya 125 ndio studio yenye Koronga, yenye napea upcoming opportunity. Sasa hii tunapeleka na maboys wetu mali si worship. Tunajua kawaida pia si uendanga church ku praise jazz. Unaelewa? So mtanifuata tuende wapi? Church. Kabisa. Yeah. Tunaenda church bana. St. Mary samani Tunaingia St. Mary's Church, huko ndio si wengia worship, naona every Sunday kupea Mungu shukrani kutuweka, tunaishi kufanya usanii kila kitu. So naiona au vipi? Ukikaa Ronga, unaenda stage, inaitwa railway stage. Unajua mali iko. Hiyo nayo huwezi sahau hata kama ulikam Nairobi jana. Railway stage unachukua gari ya 125, waambie tu unifikisheni Ronga. 125 utachukua hiyo nganya, utakaa upite, utumie Mombasa Road, then udivert on the right side, ukamna Langata Road, hivyo upite ile, kama unakaa upite KWS, upite mpaka Boma, then una branch on the left side. On the left side, so ni hiyo tu njia utafuata mpaka Ronga, au utapotea. Hiyo mtaa tu big utaona fast, hiyo ndio 125. Ronga mte, hiyo ndio mtaa. Tumetoka church, huko ndio St. Mary's, mahali si ukam worship. So tunaelekea Tuskys, mahali si ufanya shopping, alafu tuvuke wapi? Mtaani ucheki maboy tukicheza soka, au vipi? Nifuate. Yeah, tuko Ronga bado wasaiya, tuko Ronga bado tumechangamka. Tuko wapi chizi mwambie?
Yeah, tuko Church Road sahi. Hii road ni nyingine big sana inaitwa Church Road.
Kwa nini?
Ito Church Road sababu hii road mazee imejaa church car 40.
40 mzee. Sasa yani aje jo, tumefika Tuskys shopping center ya Ronga. Huko ndio si ukua maboy kuja kubai, unajua kama kawaida. Kani siku ya party, kani siku ya Christmas, kani siku ya nini. Huko ndani mtu wangu. Lakini hakunanga discount na offer. Huko ni ngori mtu wangu. Tuskys unaicheki, iko juu tu sana. Unajua sheng yetu ni so different but so simple kwa mtu wa nje kushika. So tuseme for example stage tunaitanga Roteja. Hiyo ndio the shortest name ya stage. Secondly, madem ama warembo so waitanga mabeauty ama mamwanaz na ni gich. Gitch inamaanisha unanipata ama unanielewa, unanigitch, unanipata mtu wangu. So alafu niche ni 50, ngat ni so, tao ni tenga. Ndio hivyo mtu wangu, na kuna kuwai na wai wa, ndio hivyo mtu wangu. So after hapa tunawapeleka Clad House, mahali maboy by mngaro za show nini. Kama kawaida tumewaleta Clad House, mahali maboy chukonga makladi za show, matops na trouser na masocks na mahats na mambwenya na mahoods, kila kitu nadai mtu wangu. Huku ndio tu maboy fanya shopping. Come na mimi Jo, come na mimi, nifuate. Najua Sunbeam iko juu, lakini Clad House pia imetubamba tu sana. Hii ndio kila kitu inatoka Dubai inaingia direct, au vipi? Awasei ni aje. Hii ndio mako yetu ya 125%. Hii ndio ronga, mafish, manini, mabajia, manyanya, nini, hizo takataka zote za kupika ni huku ndani mtu wangu. Naicheki hiyo ni light over there, hiyo refu ilikuwa funded na CDF ya ronga. So kwa hivyo tuko ronga, mako ndio hiyo. Twende field, au vipi? Tembea na mimi, usipotee njia. Tunakaribisha pitch yetu, mahali Rongai United wanacheza soka. Hapa ndio tunatengeneza ligi ya maboy 125% United. So tunakaribisha pitch, chiki maboy wakicheza ball soka. Pewa, twende. Mara hiyo, au sio? Tuko field yetu mtu wangu. Huku ndio si ucheza soka, gidha ambao tuko free after studio ama after hustling ama nini. Tunakaa mkustretch ma muscle, mimi na cheese hapa hivi. So huku ndio machizi huku wa bana. Hii ndio ronga, huku ndio mtaa. Itakwaje? Ronga inamaanisha love kwangu. Cause ile siku ya kwanza tu nilifika hivi, au maboy unaona nyuma jo ndio walitukaribisha hii hood yani. Hiyo love ilizidi mpaka wa leo hii. So ronga inamaanisha vitu mingi sana ambayo siwezi explain for now, but two things, love and togetherness. Hiyo ndio ronga 1 to 5.
Inongata Rongai now is where Inongata Rongai is when I found a new home, because the environment was amazing and the people here were good and things were happening and it was so nice, I can assure you. So here at Ongata Rongai we decided to settle here. So by that time we were still recording under Ketable Studios until Tabu Susa. Until our contract, our 1-year contract with Tabu Susa ended. So he wanted us to terminate the contract, to extend the contract. But because by that time we could afford the studio, we said, how about we pay you? So we did our album, the 3rd album. But unfortunately in 2007, 2008, there was a major post-election violence in Kenya, whereby we never launched the album. Because it was the major post-election violence that we've never experienced in Kenya. So even events, the music industry was not performing well. Businesses in Kenya was not performing well. There's a lot of things that was not happening nicely. So our album, the 3rd album, was never launched. So things were kind of rough on our side. Not only our side but also the youths around us. So we decided just to quit Ketable Studios. Not that we never wanted to, but for a while, just to reconcile and see what we can do. Now that's where I met my current producer, whom I'm working with.